we're spending the off season getting the biggest guests we possibly can get on the show, and that is why we're going to the South Plains. We're going to talk to the new head coach of the Lubbock Coronado Mustangs. We're joined by Coach DJ Mann. Coach, first and foremost, congratulations. You and I have known each other a long time. I've always been like, man, when are you going to get that head coaching job? When are you going to get that head coaching job? I got to tell you, I think I speak on behalf of the whole Dave Campbell staff that we were thrilled that you get to go home to your alma mater.
Man, I appreciate it. You know, we've known each other since probably, I think it was 2013.
Don't date me, man.
We got to have a little fun on Twitter going back and forth about why we weren't ranked so high. And I gained a lot of respect from you that day because you came right back at me. So I was like, this Tepper guy is somebody that I can get with because he just lay down and take it.
But here's the thing, though, is that now as the head coach, you have even more of a voice to complain to me about where you guys are ranked. Like now, it's like you get the big megaphone.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't complain about rankings anymore. I've grown up a little bit, and I understand you guys are doing your job, and it is what it is, man. So I just take it how it comes, and if we're ranked high, I'm excited. If we're ranked low, I'm excited because now we have something that we can feed off of.
Well, I want to ask you about getting the job there at Coronado. You are a Coronado grad. You're going home for this. I know that in conversations that you and I have had, before you've talked about wanting, have a desire to go back to West Texas and that's where you're from. I'm interested when you found out that you were getting the job, what was the reaction?
So when the superintendent called me, I could barely talk. I'm trying to explain some things and she's asking me these questions, do you want to come back and make Lubbock home again? And I'm like, yes, I would love to come back home. And, I'm a pretty emotional person, as you kind of saw when they announced me at the school board meeting, man. And I cried, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It was such a big deal. And, when I called and told my parents, my mom just started shouting. She was out in public and she just started shouting and, screaming and hollering, man. So it's a big deal to be able to come back home.
I want to ask you a little bit about, your journey to this time. You've spent the last couple of years there at Cedar Hill as the quarterbacks coach and recruiting coordinator. You've also, before that, you were with Coach Jeff Reardon down there at Crosby. We all know about the fraternity of Texas high school football coaches. With those guys, being on the staff with Coach Reardon at Crosby, being on the staff with Coach Lynn at Cedar Hill, what have you learned from those guys that you're going to bring with you to this job?
And even, I got to bring up Bill Howard and Greg Owens at Sulphur Springs and Wiley, and Steve Parr. I learned the big thing is take care of kids. If you love those kids, man, if you take care of those kids and you put those kids above anything else, good things are going to happen. One big thing I learned with Coach Owens and Jeff Reardon was faith, family, team. Keep that faith up there, keep that first, and take care of your family. And if you're doing everything in order, all things will fall in place the right way. So, I being with Coach Lynn, he lets you learn how to be a head coach on the job. He gives you an opportunity to stand up and speak in front of the players. He gives you an opportunity to he just puts you in position, where if you do get a head job, you're going to have an idea of what you're doing. You're not going into it blind. So I can't thank those guys enough, man. They're all like dads and brothers to me.
Talking with DJ Mann, the new head coach of the Lubbock Coronado Mustangs here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at #TFToday. Coach, I think one of the big questions people have whenever a guy who's never been a head coach takes over is what the team's going to look like, what a team, how it's going to look like. From your perspective, I know it's early. You're still at Cedar Hill right now, but when you think of what a DJ Mann coach team is going to look like, what it's going to be, what the attitude is going to be, what can you tell Mustangs fans?
First of all, it's going to be fun and it's going to be family oriented. Ohana is going to be our big phrase. We're going to support each other. We're going to love each other, but we're going to score points. We're going to keep that wide open offense that Coronado's had the last 7 years. We're going to score a lot of points. We're going to be physical on defense. We're going to be sound on defense. I think that's something that's going to be very important to me. Having that attack style. I mean, we got some players that are coming back, man. We got a kid named Ted Gilmore that is unbelievable. Caleb Pillows is unbelievable. He was able to, get his first offer my first day that, after the school board meeting. So, that was, super exciting, and, we're fired up about that. But you can expect us to play sound football and be exciting and have fun. And, like I talked to my coaches, we're going to celebrate the good times. We're going to celebrate on the numbers when we get the opportunity. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of back bumping and jumping up and down and just good, solid football.
So, I think one of the other things that's really interesting about your career path is that you are, I think, known around the state as one of the premier recruiting coordinators in high school football. You're a guy who you're always hyping up your guys. You're always getting guys attention and stuff like that. I guess, broad question, is that something, we talk a lot about kind of the recruiting on the interstates, right? If you're on 35, you're on 45, things like that, you get more attention than, plain simple, if you're out there in Lubbock or you're out there in there. Is that something that you're going to be focused on as far as getting your kids a little bit more exposure from a recruiting perspective?
Definitely. And it's going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge that I can't wait to take on. And, not just only getting Coronado kids recruiting, but I want to be able to help Monterey kids get recruited. I want to be able to help Estacado kids get recruited. I want to be able to help just the whole area. I want to bring a big focus to getting coaches. And, I want to be able to get with Coach Cooley and Coach Hutchinson and Coach Steven and those guys and developing a plan to help our kids get recruited, because there's a ton of talent in that, in that West Texas area. And, I think me being in Lubbock and Coach Mims being at Polidoro, we have a ton of connections, man. And like I said, we were able to get a kid an offer the first day. And I've been able to send some film out, and coaches are excited. And coaches are saying, we can't wait to get out to Lubbock. I recruit Lubbock. I've gotten some, some text messages from some guys that are already asking for prospect sheets. So we want to take recruiting in Lubbock to another level, and it's going to happen. I'm just going to call it right now.
One of the guys that you I would say certainly helped his development. You were the quarterbacks coach there at Cedar Hill, and people may remember that was a team that made it all the way to the state championship game last year. Thanks in large part to, I would say, outstanding quarterback coaching. I guess the quarterback was okay too, if you want to say that. We're talking Caden Salter, the quarterback there at Cedar Hill. He's now off to Tennessee. Obviously everyone gets there because of how good the coaching is, but you're also a guy who you've been around a lot of guys, and we can watch the film and see how special Caden Salter is from your perspective as a guy who was, in the trenches with him. What is it about him that sets him apart?
He has the it factor. I mean, a special kid, never. I mean, and a lot of coaches, the coach speaks that he doesn't miss a workout. This kid never missed a workout. He was a Longhorn leader in our building, our program that we have for some of our scholar athletes. He was a kid that would lead in the cafeteria. He would lead in the classroom. Of course, he graduated early, so academically he was solid, man. He did so much off the field that made him great on the field. Then when you got on the field, something that his vision, he told us that the doctor told him he had 20/20 vision, so he could see everything. And you watch some of the plays that he would make, he really saw everything. He makes a play against Alito where we're on the 7-yard line. I think he spins around, he scrambles back all the way to about the 25. And as soon as he turns around, he sees the receiver in the back of the end zone. I have no idea how he saw it. We don't do that drill in period 3, but he made it happen. He made it happen. So, I have to thank him for helping me be able to be in the position that I'm in now, man, because without the great players that I've been able to coach over the time, the Manny Netherleys, the Tristan Cottons, the Aston and Austin Walters, Kobe Harper's at Wiley, there's, Nikita Whitlock, there's no way that I'm in a position that I'm in now.
DJ Mann, the head coach at Lubbock Coronado, joined us. And Coach, last week on this show, our guest was Eric Mims. You mentioned him earlier. He's, of course, getting the job at his alma mater up there at Amarillo Palladuro. You know, Coach Mims, you guys have a history together. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
He mentioned to me off the air that the first district ball game is going to be Coronado and Palo Duro. And I guess I just want to know how much chirping is there going to be? Because I know there's going to be some, but like, give me a feel for how much chirping we can expect.
So me and Mims go way back. I've known him since I was 17.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, I've known Mims since he was my host on my visit to Eastern New Mexico.
You are kidding me.
I promise. He was my host on my visit to Eastern New Mexico. So he went to Eastern. I went to West Texas A&M, which is the huge rivalry. Play for the Wagon Wheel. So I coached against him there. I played against him. I actually played against him there. You know, he was at at Duncanville. I'm at Cedar Hill. So I've coached against him here for 2 years. And now I'll get a chance to coach against him, you know, at Palo Duro and Coronado, man. So we have a lot of history together, man. We have a lot of history. So there'll be some talking. You know, he's not a guy that you want to make too mad, man, because he's a really good coach and he's going to have that place rolling. But you know, there's a lot of mutual respect, but there'll be a little talking.
Good. I'm glad, because I got to, you know, from a media perspective, that's what I need. I need that kind of, you know, you guys got to give me some headlines to talk about. You know what I mean? He is DJ Mann. He's the new head coach at the Lubbock Coronado Mustangs. Coach, really appreciate your time. Congratulations again. We're absolutely thrilled for you. I can't wait to see what your Mustangs do.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys for having me on. I appreciate the friendship. It means a lot more than you'll ever know, man. So thank you a lot.